So, first of all, let me give you a very brief introduction about myself. So, I am Japneet Singh Chawla, and I will be taking your R for Actuarial Science classes. So, the pattern will be initially you will be working with the basic R. So, you are studying R in CS1 and CS2, both the subjects, and this was recently introduced in the Actuarial Science syllabus. So, there is a separate course for CS1 which will be doing after understanding the basic R, because there is no such thing as basic R in CS1. But to make you understand that how R works and what is R, and so that you can solve the problems of CS1, will be first understanding the basic R, will be like covering some of the basic concepts which will help you understand and write code in R, and it will also help you to be more familiar with R and R Studio. So that is how we'll be proceeding. And if you have any doubts, I want sessions to be as interactive as possible. So if you have any doubt, if you have any question, and if I'm asking something, I expect you to put the messages in the chat box. If you have any doubt, like, I generally don't name anyone, so even if it is a very basic doubt, you can ask. So you don't have to shy away from asking any kind of doubts. So that is basically a very brief about what we will be doing in the next few months. So that is the thing. And now, some very basic things about why we are studying R, and I also want to understand about the knowledge of the batch. So, do we have people in the batch who have already studied R or any kind of programming language for that matter? It can be anything. And like at any point in time in your career, or like in last 5, 10 years, 20 years, you have studied R or any programming language or used it. Okay, so some people know Python, some even know basic like the starting languages like C, C++, and some don't, so some have not worked. So this is just for my understanding. This will not impact anything for that matter, like the speed of the lectures or something like that. It is just for my understanding that like what is the like mixture in the batch, so that we can deal with even the complex problems for that way. Okay. Got it. So those who will be learning it for the first time, and who are like who have even experience of the other programming languages, so it will be a different experience for them when we'll be studying R, and like we'll be using R Studio, because there is a dedicated environment wherein you will be learning R Studio, R, and we'll be using R Studio to implement R. We'll be going through all these things during the today's session. This is just today is just an introduction class, so I will be introducing you with the R and some of the basic things and why we are studying R. Okay. So one more question that I have. So R, I think, has been introduced in the syllabus from last 3 or 3.5, 4 years maximum. So why do you think was there was need to include a programming language like R in the actuarial science syllabus? Like you can have any random and vague guesses as well. So I'm open to listen to those as well. Very good. Very Yes, yes. So I will also be discussing the things that you have mentioned, and we'll be discussing each and every point. So I have received 4 5 uh, answers wherein it is mentioned as practical learning. So what is practical learning? So if so, like people have mentioned different points. So I will be explaining every point so that all people are at in the same page, and other people are also aware of what they have not thought about. So practical learning is very important point, because whenever you are working, you are like if you see the other subjects of actuarial science as well, so you will be seeing that there has been introduction to Excel and all that stuff. So it is just to make your theoretical learning more practical and more real life, because actuarial science is not something that you will be studying in theory. You have to go to the industry and you have to work and solve complex problems. So, for that matter, to improve the speed of calculations, to work on the huge data set, you need a special tool, and there was a need for this tool, and that is why it got introduced, so that people who are actually clearing the papers, who are studying actuarial science, are more ready for work and more ready for go to market. So you can after learning all these things, your learning curve when you join the corporate world will be a little smooth, and you have to, like, because you already know all these things, so it will be easy for you to cope up and start working on complex things very fast. So I think I have covered all the points in a single line. That was practical learning to improve the speed and the speed of the problem solving and accuracy of the problem solving. Because now you are automating the things, so there are very less chances of manual error, because everything is done by system itself. So that is the thing. Practical life solutions and practical examples, complex problems, which when you will be solving by hand, it might take a lot of time. Here you have to write code once and you can run it on different data sets multiple times. So that is the thing. Huge amount of data. That is one of the very primary reason for having a programming language in your course. So why having a huge amount of data impacts so much on any kind of problem solving? So earlier we used to have very lesser amount of data. Data sets were very small. It was easy to do the calculations by hand or using the Excel or very basic tools. Okay. So now there has been a change and drift in the internet world, and there is a lot of data that gets generated. So let's move to the second slide, and let me show you why. So why programming? So these are some of the stats which you can see on the screen. So these are the stats of the data growth in the on the internet. So these are very rough estimates, and these are somewhat old as well. So the numbers might have increased now. I'm giving you just a couple of minutes to go through these stats to understand why we need a programming tool. Okay. So these are some of the rough estimates. Now let's take an example which you will be able to relate more. So let's say that a company needs to do a research, and on the basis of this research, they want to introduce a new product into the market. So this research is based. This is for an insurance company who wants to launch a new insurance product for the customers who are actually more inclined towards staying fit. So now you have data, steps, and other parameters that are recorded from your smartwatch or smart devices. These can be any band or like watch that people wear. So they want to use this data. So now just think about the situation wherein how many people now wear smartwatches or smart bands, and just try to we don't have accurate numbers as of now, but just go back 2 to 3 years and think about the situation, same situation, like how many people were having the access to smart watches or smart bands. So either the things were expensive, and that is why people were not having that thing, and secondly, there were no products in the market if you go back like 5 to 6 years. So at that point in time, these things were not there. You were not able to measure such things. But now, with the advancement in the technology and with the availability of internet everywhere, so now if you think about, like, I don't know like what is the age group, but if you go back 7 to 8 years from now, internet was very very costly. So not everyone was able to access the internet everywhere. But now because we have that access, we have a lot of devices which are generating the data. One of the example is smartwatch. It is a very simple device, but if you just think about the data it is generating, it is huge. So it is generating your heartbeat data, it is generating your steps data, it is generating your stress level data, and many data points for that matter. All these data points can be very effectively used to understand the health of a person. This I think most of you will agree upon. So if I can understand the health of one person and I can see that how healthy is a person, can this data point help me to understand and make a very specialized plan for that person? Or maybe I can provide an extra discount if a person is leading a healthy life, which also motivates him to stay healthy, and the chances of claims will be lesser in that case. And now we are talking about one person. So even if you just talk about India and not go outside India for such kind of studies, so we'll be having crores of data points for this kind of data. And now to work with this huge data, even like working on Excel, you will be facing a lot of challenges. I don't know how many of you have like opened a huge data set on Excel and check the performance of your Excel report or Excel or your complete system. The things will start to fail for all those complex calculations. So this is why we are studying R. Any doubts or anything anyone wants to ask till now? So we are going at a very slow pace. I want you to absorb and understand the things from the very basic. Okay. So we have now understand that why R was introduced to the actuarial science course. We have also studied that why do we need R, and what is the data growth that has led to this evolution of everyone, not just in actuarial science. If you go outside in the corporate world, most of the people will be understanding and working on some kind of programming language because it is the future for every job. not just actuarial science job. So it is the future of every job. So now we are studying R. So we'll understand what is R. So R is a programming language. We call it as open source programming language. Why we call that? I think most of you have installed Excel on your system, Microsoft Excel. But what my question to you is, how many of you have actually paid for Excel, and it is not the free or pirated version? Has anyone paid? And most of the people will be actually confused about the question. Do we have to pay for using Excel? So Excel is a proprietary software. You have to purchase license from Microsoft to use Excel in your system. So there are two ways you can, it goes installed. So one is basically when you buy a laptop with a Windows, so you have to pay for Windows and then you can use it. So basically it gets bundled with your Windows. So indirectly you are paying for that when you have purchased Windows. And second is, if you are not purchased Windows, you have to buy the license to use the Excel. You have to put the key so that you can use it. For the personal use, it is not very much there is no audit or something like that. For like no one will be chasing you that you have used the pirated or free, you are using it for free. But as soon as you go into any corporate world, so every system which has Excel installed, company pays for that particular system to Microsoft. So it is a paid tool, it is not a free tool. So now when we talk about why I am talking about Excel, so we are saying that R is a open source programming language. So what does that mean? That you don't have to pay anything to use R. So when I say you, like you can use it for your personal use, and even if when you are using it in the companies don't have to pay anything when their employees are working or using the R. So that is why it is called as open source. Second thing, when we call it open source, that everyone who has a better understanding of how R was built, because R itself is code only. When you are typing, so there is some code which is getting executed. So open source we mean that people have liberty to go and change the source code as well, which is not required as of now for this discussion. I'm just telling you that what does open source means. So that is the thing. Anyone can go and read the source code of R, that how R is written inside. But we'll not be doing that. We'll just be using R as it is, and it was derived from an language that was S, that stands for statistic. It was a paid tool. So the creators of S thought that the potential of the language is much more and it should be available to wider audience. So they created a new language out of S, and that was called as R, and they kept it as open source language. Okay, I think the rest of the things are some of the things like you can read, but like it is not of a very huge benefit. One last thing that is there, the last point, which is R is an interpreted language. So what is an interpreted language, and how you can, like, what is R for you? So like we are having this class. So this class is like I am talking in English and you are understanding English. So this is our medium of communication. When you want to solve the problems on your system, R becomes your medium of communication with the system. So it is nothing but the commands that you are like pushing to the system, and you want system to act on those commands. So you are just writing that command in the language that is called R. So it is, you can call it as English for the computers. When you want to talk to computers, it is the medium of communication, English for the system. and it is very simple language. Most of the things you will be like, there is just a syntax. So just like we when we form a sentence, so there is a way how we can form the sentence, how we have to use the verbs, adverbs, and all those things. So in a similar way, there is a way you will be using R. That is the thing. So we will be studying that. So what do you need when you want to work on R? So do we have anyone who has already installed R or R Studio in their system? Okay. So some people have already have R and R Studio in the system. So for others, what we'll be doing is we'll be going through it. So let me copy this link. You can do it simultaneously as and when we are doing it here, because like this is the base of, okay, this site has been changed. You just type R for Windows. You'll be navigated here. So do this parallelly along with me, because this is the base, and next class onwards this we will not be doing it again and again. But I have seen that many people struggle with like R Studio. They don't have these things in the system, struggle with the installation and all that stuff. So let's do it parallelly for those who have not installed and downloaded. Just type R for Windows. You will be redirected to this link. You will be shown this link. Just go to this link, first link only. Download R latest version. I am downloading it on the desktop itself. So it will take some time to download. It is 86 MB file. Why it is saying 5 hours? I think there is some. I I don't think the issue is with the internet. Anyone also seeing this? It is taking a lot of time to download, or is it just me? Okay. So I think it is just for the mirrors that are available. So let me just try to do that again. And for like other people, I think some of the people it is showing that it is taking a lot of time. It is, I think, because of, I have checked the speed. It is not because of the internet speed, but it is more about, I think, the website itself. It is slow. Hmm. The website itself is slow because we are streaming the live class, so I don't think the problem lies in the internet. Speed is also good. 90 Mbps we are getting right now. For you guys, this file is downloaded. If yes, just yeah, mention yes. I already have one file downloaded. I can show the next steps in that case, because I think this is taking a lot of time. Okay, so most of you it has downloaded already. Let's understand how we will be installing. So I have a older version here, R4.4.2 Windows. So there will be a file something like this that you will be having in your system. Just double click on that file. There will be a icon. I think I can show you here. Do you want to allow this app from unknown publisher, something like that? Just mention yes. You will be shown this. Click OK. Then there will be this license. Click next. There will be a location it will be asking you for. Just next. Main files, just keep this checked. Next. Just accept defaults. If you want to create shortcuts, you can opt it, but like I will be removing that. Next, it will be just downloading it, like installing it. It is done. We'll just click finish. For everyone, it has like you were able to install R. Now you can just go to the search, type R. See, it's not showing here. Let me put here. Hmm. It was not showing in the screen. Just go here, type R, go to apps. Will be shown these applications. This is the R. Just click on this. It will be showing you something like this. So how many of you have like reached at this point where you are able to see this? Just mention how many of you have reached at this point and you have R GUI opened on your screen. Okay. So this is your R, not R Studio, just R. So when you have done and completed all these steps, you have R installed on your system. You can work with like everything with respect to R with this step only. You can write the commands A equals to 1, B equals to 1, A plus B. You are getting the answers. Okay. So now we'll be going one step ahead. What we'll be installing? We'll be installing it should not get deleted automatically when you are installing R. So after the installation, the binary might get deleted, but R is installed on your system. You don't have to keep the exe file. Just go to search, type R, go to apps, and you will be shown this app. Now the second thing that we would install is R Studio. So once that is installed, you will see the difference, that why we need R Studio. So just go to this link, or like to make it easy, I will just say R Studio for Windows. If you are using Mac or Linux operating system, so you have to type in that manner. Just go here. It has shown the same link. So for R Studio to work, you need R already installed in your system. Okay. So we have already installed R. So this download R Studio desktop for Windows. Just do this. It will download that. So you can see that it is now getting downloaded in seconds. It was the problem with the website only. For everyone, R Studio is downloaded. Just let me know once it is done. We'll start with the installation of R Studio as well. I'm just waiting for a couple of minutes so that for everyone this is installed. Please mention done once the file is downloaded so that we can proceed. Okay, so I have received some done. Okay, so let's do the same thing. There will be a file like this. Just double click on the file. It will show you something like this. Click yes. It will show you this. The next install. It will take some time to install us. Okay, so it will show you something like this. Just click on the finish and you are done. Everyone has reached till this point. So these are the two basic things. And I have seen people coming back to me after the completion of basic R, like 2, 3, 4 classes, that we don't have R in our system, and now they are struggling with installing the R. So I don't need such kind of situation for anyone in this batch. So that is why I am keeping it very slow. I am going with you, telling you how to install and solving the problems then and there. So once, same, we'll do the same thing. Once this is installed, just type R Studio and open this. You'll be shown something like this. So because it was already installed, so it has reused the old cache of the system and it is showing me the things that were already there. But I will make it. You will be shown something like this. Is everyone with me here? You're also getting such window on the screen where there will be R Studio on the top left. There will be one panel here. There will be one panel here and one panel here. Everyone is seeing this type of windows, three windows. Okay. So let's understand these windows. So this window, the bigger window, is very same as this R Studio window. So you can type any command here. We'll be getting the result as it is. So now what is A and B here? A and B are called as variables. In the mathematics, I'm sure that everyone is from the mathematics background because you are doing the actuarial science. It is not possible without having that kind of background. We create the variables x equal to something, y equal to something, and then there is an equation. Okay. So in a very similar way, these are the variables. What is a variable? Variable is a storage location which stores some value. So herein A is storing some value. The value is 1. B is storing some value. That value is again 1. So 1 is the value. A and B are referencing to this value. Whenever I have to store a value, I have to store it in a variable. So now these variables, so R will internally use these references called as variable for your calculation. So when I called A plus B, so R already knew that A is 1 and B is 1. So even if I clear, so here from here, this specific icon, the brush icon, you can click here, it will remove all the code from here. So even if now A and B are not shown here, but because I have already declared the variables, I can say A plus B and I will still be getting the result. Now how this window will be coming into picture. So it is of many uses, but for now let's understand the very basic use. All the variables that I have created here, A, B, C, or for that matter anything, it will be shown here. So even if I have cleared this terminal, I want to see that what variables I have created. I know that there is a variable called as A, value of that variable is 1. There is second variable B, value of variable B is 1. I can change the value to, let's say, 9. You can see the values reflected here. Now if I say a plus b, I will be getting 10. So this is for writing your commands. This for now will be giving you an idea of what all variables you have created. We'll be later using this import dataset section from here, where we'll be importing the datasets to work with the files and all that thing, all that stuff. Now here on this section, you will be seeing the plots. So the graphs that you will be creating. You will be seeing these graphs here, and like from here only you have to download and you have to put it in your paper file answer sheet. Then there will be this section as well, which we'll be using for importing and installing the packages, like I think ggplot2. So these are basically the packages which are not by default installed in the R and R in your system in R, but you can install the packages that you will be needing on the run. So if like ggplot is a package which is very good for creating very good plots. So even if I want to install this, I will just check it. It is added to my library. And if I want to install some kind of package, I will type the package name here. Just select the install. Don't uncheck this install dependency at any point in time. Just do install. It will install the new packages for you. We'll be doing all these things in the classes. Don't panic for how and why I'm rushing on these things. We'll be doing and like exploring all these sections individually as well. But as of now, I'm just giving you an idea of what our studio is how it is all what is it is all about, and how we have different tabs here and how we can use them. Okay, so these are the three tabs. Now the fourth tab that was already there, if you check this plus icon on the top left which says new file, just click on there, select R script, and there will be a new tab on your window. Herein, so if we go to the slides again, I think it should be there. So interactive, so R runs in two kind of modes. One is the interactive mode and one is the batch mode. So the thing that you have seen here, so when you were running the command, so I was running the command a equals to like let's take some another variable, x equals to 23. So as soon as I have hit enter, you can see the variable is created here. I say y equals to 10. As soon as I hit enter, variables are creating here. X plus y, I'm just pressing enter, 33. The answer is here. Now let's do it here in the file mode. This is called as batch mode. I'm saying variable d equals to 3 and I'm pressing enter. You can see, so yeah, so interactive mode is when I am just writing the code here and pressing enter, the things are executed. R is basically executing your commands, and you can, how you can verify that, as soon as we created this variable xy, the variables got created here. But in a same way, when I created a variable d equal to 3 here and I pressed enter, no action was taken. Second variable, enter, no action. Now if I do d plus f, enter, no action. So this is called as batch mode, wherein there will be no action taken when you are writing the code and pressing enter, but whatever you want to execute, you just select those commands. Okay, there is run. You see all the statements are executed parallelly, and you can see the output here. D equal to 3, F equal to 9, D plus F 12. We didn't write this. This is taken from here when we ran this in the batch mode. So most of the time we'll be using this mode only. The second way to run this is control enter. You can see that it is running again from here. I clear this, control enter, or you can go here and press run. Both have the same impact. Clear? Everyone clear about these things? So next thing is this. These are very basic words that I am just throwing at you right now. We'll be understanding every concept later in the classes. This is just for your introduction. So when we will be writing the code, it will be written in mostly three kind of blocks. One is the sequential that we have already seen. So this, like, the things were working in sequence. D equal to 3, F equal to 9, D plus F. Then there is one more block called as iterative block. What is iterative block? It is useful when you want to do the same thing multiple times. So let's say that I want to, so I what I'm doing here is I am want to print this I am learning R for 10 times. So this has executed 10 times. Okay. So these kind of blocks. So I have only written it once. I can call it for these many times as well with just these 4 lines of code. If you can see that it has written it so many times. You can do these calculations. Just understand the power of R here. So you, by just writing these 3 lines, you can execute any statement any number of times. So just remove this simple print statement with any complex calculation that you want to do for a lot of data. So it is as simple as that. You only have to write it once and it will do it again for you. For acha, where did I get batch mode? Just from the top left, there is a green icon, a green plus sign. Just click on that. It will give you an option of many files. Just select the first option, R script, and it will give you this batch mode. So this kind of block is called as iterative block. Now the third type of block, if you can see here, is conditional block. So I want to execute this, but on some conditions. Like I from 1 to, this is I think 10,000. So from 1 to 10,000, I only want to print the this even numbers, all the even numbers from 1 to 1,000 or 10,000. So what I will do is I will put a condition here. We will be learning about the iterative blocks, how to write the conditions. This currently what we are doing is just for the understanding purpose. Don't just go into how I have written something, how you will be writing it. It is just for the very basic thing now, just to understand that this is possible in our studio. Can you see all the even numbers right from 2 to 10,000? So these kind of blocks are called as conditional blocks. You can call it very similar to the conditions that you put in the Excel sheets. So these are the conditional blocks. So now we have understand about, like, we have a good understanding about what are the different type of blocks and how does our studio work. Okay. Anyone having any doubt till now? Just don't go into the details of what I have written here. We'll understand it in a very depth and very good way when we are actually going through this topic in the basic R. This is just for the demonstration purpose that what all you can do using R Studio and what are the different blocks. Any doubt as of now? Why it is not print till 999? Because I have run it from 1 to 10,000, including 10,000. Okay. So now let's understand a very small thing about variables. So we can have variables like this. We can have variable like these are called as integers, then these are called as numerical values, decimals. Not just integers, you can have both integers as well as numerical values. So it will be 2.2 here. You can have something like a equals to, in double quotes you say z. So these are called as string values. Yeah, in Python it does not include the last value, but herein it includes it. So a is equal to z. Now if I print a here, it will say z. You can say see the value is a is z. Can I now do a plus b? Let's try that. Will not be able to do that because a is no more by a numeric value. Now it has converted to this. These are called as string values, wherein you put double quotes. So even if I put double quote across 1 and I say a plus b, it is still considered as a string value and not a integer or a numeric value. For numeric, any kind of numeric value, you don't have to put double quotes. Double quotes is for strings. And what is string? String is basically something which is not numeric. You can call it as a string value. Okay. We'll be studying about vectors. And I don't want to introduce all those heavy words right now, but we'll be studying all these things from the next class onwards. So we have different operators. Let's say, and let's take an example of b equals to, it's 34 and c equals to, let's say, 3 plus I think you are already aware of b plus c. You can have b minus c. You can have B divide by C. There was one operator that I used, B. So this is called as remainder operator. So it is printing the remainder. 34 divided by 3, it will be giving you remainder of 1. Sorry, this is a remainder. This is called as modulo operator. Then you have multiplication. You have one operator called as B modulo, that is percentage, then slash, that is division, then again modulo, and then C. So it is giving you 11. So it is basically giving you the opposite of the single modulo. So here when you do B plus C, it gives you 11.33. To just get the numeric value, integer value, you say modulo division modulo C. It will give you 11 and remove the decimal part of it. And when you just say double modulo without this, it will give you the remainder. So these are the different operators that we have. We'll be studying about more operators as and when we are studying more topics. So I think for today's class, this is sufficient. And you guys now know that what is R Studio, how we'll be writing code, what are the different things in R Studio. I have also informed you about some of the blocks that we will be writing going forward in R, how to execute your code, what are variables, how to create variables, how to do some of the basic calculations in R Studio and by using R. So all these are the topics that we have covered today. So any doubt in the things that we have covered today? Okay, good. So let's wind up today's class, and we'll be informing you about the next class through the communication from the institute only. You want to understand the modulo again. So double modulo is just it when you do this basically operator. So it is giving you the remainder when you divide 34 by 3. So 11 3 into 11 is 33. You get the remainder 1. So it is used to get the remainder. So if you go back and just close your eyes, think about the division that we used to do in like fifth, sixth standard. So we used to like have 33 in the center, 3 on the left side, and then 3 ones are 3, and then like 0 is the remainder. Then we carry forward 4, 3 ones are again 3, so remainder will be 1. So double modulo will be giving you the remainder. When you do a modulo divide and then modulo, it will be giving you 11. And if you just give b divide by c, it will give you the exact value 11.33. So this is the use of three operators. And by the way, for these all these things, all these calculation and double modulo, plus minus, multiply, divide, these are called as operators. Is it clear now? Okay. So I think we are good for the day, and thank you all for joining in.